Okay, hi, this is Maghsoud Dariani, and I'm Chief Science Officer of Lobe Sciences. I have over 35 years of experience in pharmaceutical development, both research and management. I was formerly Vice President of Chiral Pharmaceutical Division of Celgene Corporation, and under my leadership, we developed chirally pure versions of racemic compounds that were on the market. Our best known product that was developed and is on the market today is Focalin, both an immediate release and a sustained release version, which are currently marketed by Novartis. These are single isomer versions of the drug Ritalin, which was widely used to treat ADHD. Anyhow, I left Celgene and joined another virtual company for development of generic version of the drug Adderall for ADHD, which now is probably the largest selling drug for ADHD. We developed an immediate release and brought a control release version to clinical evaluation and sold the company. Subsequent to that, I joined a small company out of Israel, where I'm currently CEO of that company as well, developing small molecule cancer therapeutics. I joined Lobe, actually I joined Illusion, which was later on acquired by Green Science Biosciences, and now it's Lobe, and I'm responsible for science, research and development, and product development. Go ahead, Phil.
Thank you, Maghsoud. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today. Phil Young, CEO. I've been with the company just about a month now, and it's an exciting opportunity. I've spent my life in biotech, from discovery through development, commercialization of many different kinds of drugs. That includes FDA approval. Also spent some time developing drug device combos. Notably, I spent time at Genentech when it first started as a company, and headed a commercial marketing group for endocrine products, and gradually moved on to doing several transactions, selling one company to Elan, an Irish company, for $700 million. And I've been CEO of 5 public companies over the last 24 years, and have had several very good exits for the shareholders, developed several very good compounds, bringing them to market, and I enjoy doing it. I love the challenge, and I love the science, and I love the relationships you build when you get investors into your company who believe in the same vision that you have. So we're excited to be here, and in lieu of doing a slide presentation, which I'm sure everyone has seen enough slides, and with the fact that there's a little technical glitch on this end, we're just going to talk through what we're doing, and we'll open it up to questions at any time, and we can make this kind of a free flow situation. So top line, what Lobe is up to. Lobe is developing psychedelic therapies to treat brain disorders and brain injury. That's a big pot to catch, but what we're looking at initially is mild traumatic brain injury, and subsequently the post-traumatic stress syndrome that comes along with that. And we're very excited to be doing something that is novel, patentable, and that should give us a significant market advantage when we prove it. We're developing through a collaboration with one of the best engineering teams in America, VisionWorks down in San Diego, a proprietary nasal device that will specifically deliver drugs directly to the upper chambers, the upper part of your sinuses, where your olfactory bulb is, and where you have much more rapid, easy access to the brain, and you can use lower concentrations because you don't have to go through the first pass syndrome when you take a drug orally. And we believe that what we want to do is to transition people from the long-term flow of going to a clinic, going to a specialty doctor's office and taking their psychedelic, but having to be monitored for many hours, we want to treat patients where they are in their homes, in their offices. And we believe microdosing is really the way to do that. And we're setting out to prove that that's going to be the way to treat these conditions and many others. And Maghsoud, I'll ask you to join in and discuss a little bit about the science.
Sure. As Phil mentioned, we are working with a multidisciplinary team of scientists, doctors, and psychiatrists at University of Miami who have very deep understanding of neurological disorders. And our lead investigator there is Dr. Michael Hoffer. And he is currently conducting preclinical research for our combination drug. As Phil said, we are initially focused on mild traumatic brain injury, which subsequently for a significant number of those patients leads to PTSD. So
excuse me, Maghsoud, could I ask you to speak up? People are saying you're hard to hear.
Oh, okay. I'll bring the microphone. Can you hear me now?
That's much better. Yeah.
Okay. So our drug under development has two components. NAC, N-acetylcysteine, is the component that goes to work and helps prevent damage that results from trauma to the head. NAC, basically, in a nutshell, increases the levels of glutathione, which is a very potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory molecule in most of the cells in our body. And what its function is really to sweep anti-inflammatory cytokines and reactive oxygen species and prevent them from damaging cell components and DNA. Now, the other component of our drug, combination drug, is obviously psilocybin, with the active ingredient being psilocin. And psilocin basically goes up and activates 5-hydroxytryptamine 5A in particular, but it also activates other serotonin receptor sites. And this basically, this agonist results in elevated mood, sense of well-being, and ability to open up and discuss charged memories and hopefully forget them. They're using two well-established animal models, two independent, well-established rodent models, to demonstrate the efficacy and superiority of this combination to each individual alone. And each animal study has multiple arms where we are doing shams, placebo arm, combination, and individual components. And our goal is to show superiority of our combination treatment to all the other arms via a statistical analysis. We are also, as part of this program, this is a one-year program with a multidisciplinary team, we are going to do dose ranging and hopefully identify microdosing regimen for psilocybin, as Phil said, with the hope of eliminating the need for a whole day session in a controlled environment with a trained psychologist or psychiatrist. We believe from business point of view, having the ability to administer a pill that contains both components at home at certain intervals, that is to be determined as we move along, would be far superior than having a single bolus dose that is currently being used by majority of the people that are doing research in this area.
Great, thank you.
An over-the-counter NAC. The other one has been reviewed by FDA and has been allowed to go into human clinical trials. So individually, both components have been shown to be safe. There may be questions about interaction between these two. I haven't seen in the literature any reference to the interaction, but having said that, we are exploring possibility of going into humans for proof of principle study involving 30 subjects, active and placebo, and we are in the midst of doing those discussions in Australia, which is somewhat more permissive for these early stage feasibility studies than would be possible in the United States or Canada. I'll be happy to answer any questions that come up, Bill.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So I think that gives you a great overview of the science and our initial focus. One of the things that we clearly will do, and we're creating the bank account to do that, is to build a good, strong development pipeline so that we have multiple drug products moving through the system so that we can bring multiple drugs to market. And assuming our nasal delivery turns out the way we believe it will, we'll be in a very enviable position, not only with proprietary delivery technology, but we filed 5 patents already, and we believe that we're in a strong position there. So if I can pivot a little to the business side of the house, I think it's equally as important to know that great scientific endeavors require money, and we have to do that to raise the money to do it. And we just announced this week a tremendous milestone for the company, and something that really is transformational for the company and secures our financial freedom, if you will, to continue to explore opportunities and to build the pipeline. We closed the transaction where we divested our cannabis subsidiary called Cowlitz down in Washington State to a great cannabis company, Ionic Brands. What we were able to do is we were able to realize in value this week $32 million plus revenue into the company. We're being issued about 105 million shares of Ionic stock, as we noted in our press release earlier in the week. And importantly, we'll be bringing in about 1.75 million cash at the time of funding, which will be within the next week. And we also have the ability to move downstream with Ionic, and as they prosper and as they grow, the stock we have in them will provide us a non-dilutive form of capital to bring into the company to continue to advance our programs. So we're very excited about it. The value of that, plus what we have ongoing, certainly leads me to say the company is undervalued, and we're going to get the message out there so that it can be appreciated and we can continue to move things forward. The company did financing last in December. Seems like a long time ago. It was only a couple months ago. And that has secured us with a good financial basis for moving things forward. And what we'll do is we'll opportunistically, with the Cowlitz revenue or the money we get from Cowlitz, is opportunistically look at M&A opportunities as we move downstream, as we build the integrated development company that's going to be bringing multiple drug candidates through to development and to the market. In addition, I mentioned earlier about the nasal device. So we did complete the benchtop proof of concept, and so we now have the internal guts, if you will, of what we need to have the proper spray, the volume, the mist, the particle size, and the distance. And now what they're going to be doing in the next phase is to move it into a handheld device that can be easily used by a person at home without any medical supervision. That takes time. We're hoping to have that final device ready towards the end of this year, if not sooner, and move forward with the new data we'll be getting from the University of Miami to go to the FDA and to begin clinical development here in the United States, phase 1, 2, 3, et cetera, as everyone knows you have to do. So we have a great platform right now. It's only going to get better. And right now the stock is in my opinion, a screaming buy. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions.